Okay, enough shenanigans. Podcast time?
Correct.
Hello and welcome to FRUK Unwrapped. I'm just going to walk straight through it. FRUK Unwrapped, the official podcast of Food Review UK. It's Christmas!
Correct. In the words of Noddy Holder, it is Christmas.
It is Christmas. We've got a special show planned for you today. These guys know very little about it, and hopefully it works, but I've planned it all, so it's probably going to be shit. Speaking of these two, you're used to me coming up with some clever little puns to introduce them. Got something a little bit different this week.
Oh.
Without any doubt, he likes a meat pie. Washed down with stout, he's northern, that's why. Santa Bullock's coming to town. He thinks we're his friends, but it's just a good front. We try to pretend we don't think he's a kind person. Santa MJ's coming to town. They do food and drink reviews, scoring from 1 to 6. They'll tell you if it's bad or good. MJ prefers a good old mix. Oh, you better listen. You better subscribe. Review us on iTunes and throw us a like.
Oh.
FRUK Unwrapped's returning real soon.
Wow. That is wonderful.
Isn't it? I mean, a professional like Stuart would probably find music to back that up and everything, but I'm not professional.
No, mate,
Hello,
that was
guys.
beautiful. Hello, Nathan.
How are we both?
I'm really good, man. I'm feeling really Christmassy. As we record this, we're within a week of the big day, which is pretty exciting.
We are.
So I am a giant man-child, so I bloody love Christmas.
Santa Bullock, slip a lager under the tree for me. I've been an awful good girl. Oh, sheesh.
That's awfully sexual. Michael, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. This is another Drunk MJ installment. So I'm not drunk yet, but I'm getting on the way. I'm currently drinking a Four Loko sour apple.
It's interesting you say that. I mean, drinking, I think, is probably on the menu for all of us. I'm currently drowning in some Jack Daniel's Grenadine and Pepsi. Although I will be following that up. Yeah, I will be following that up with two bloody beers, because I'm a man.
Lads.
Beer lager. One of which is 8.4%, which will probably knock my fucking head off.
Whoa, fuck.
Stuart,
Ooh.
are you drinking?
I am currently halfway through my second pint of my current home brew. And then once this is gone, I don't know what I'll have. But if you're having an 8.4%,
yeah,
I might get one of the big boy beers out. See if I can beat you.
I'm literally about to crack it open. In fact, it's Quack.
Oh yeah, Quack. Yeah.
Am I pronouncing? It's not Quack or Quark.
I think it's Quack. I don't know that I've ever had Quack. But yeah, it's a generally it's Belgian, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I know about it.
I mean, they're all Belgian, aren't they, really, when you think about it?
Everything's Belgian if you think about it.
Belgian chocolate, Belgian coins.
Belgian waffles.
Yeah, Belgian chocolate waffles.
Hang on, here we
Philly
go, boys.
Palbert.
Ready?
In Bruges.
Oh, that was a disappointing little
Bruges.
Oh, shit, this is...
I'm not convinced you'll like it.
I'm not convinced I like it, but Christmas isn't always about doing things we like, is it?
It's not.
Guys, Christmas is not about the ones you love, or giving, or receiving, or Jesus, despite popular belief, Midnight Masters. You know, Christmas is a time for love and family and friends and presents and food.
It's about saving the ones you love. If we've learned anything in the last week, it's about saving the ones you love.
From Raptors.
Don't bring that shit in here. Don't you dare. You can drop as many Kevin Smith puns as you want, but don't bring that shit in here.
Reference.
Hey, It's time
What's
to play a
wrong
game.
with you? You're looking kind of down to me.
Dear. I was really hoping this show was going to be less chaotic than last time round, but I've the funny feeling it's going to be even worse.
Drunken MJ. Yeah, good luck with that.
Because MJ stumbled all over it, let's play a game. First game, I've switched it all up. First game, we're going to throw out a lovely little round of sweeter or savorier.
It's time to play a game. Let's play a game. It's called sweeter or savory. We pull the name of a foodstuff out of a hat. You tell us what you think about that. Will the next foodstuff be sweeter or savory? Will it be sugary or covered in sour? It's just no way to know. But you must predict. Will the next foodstuff be sweeter or savory?
What?
Yeah. Oh, but this is no normal sweeter or savorier. This is sweeter or savorier versus.
Oh my god, I wouldn't have drunk if I knew this was on the cards.
You boys are going to be playing against each other, and it's not about numbers. We're not trying to hit any ultimate goal. This is mono in mono, last man standing death match.
Oh, no.
I've got a Santa hat. I've got a lovely woolen Santa hat, and it's full of lovely Christmas-related foods. All I'm going to ask you boys, one round by round, to pick sweeter or savorier. The first one to stumble is out.
Wow.
Oh, man. Can I raise the stakes?
You can raise whatever you like.
Michael Jameson, last podcast we had a disagreement
Don't
about
recall it.
airwaves and cookies.
Vaguely rings a bell, but I can't remember the exact details.
Yeah. It's not like it carried on Facebook. It's not like it went all around the world and caused a massive issue for the whole world. How about whoever wins was right?
No, definitely not. Because I'm right, so I'm not just gonna. No, sorry, no die.
But that tells us an awful lot about Michael Jameson's confidence in this game.
Definitely his balls. He don't want none of it. Right. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Same rules apply. I want a sweeter. I want a savoury. I'm going to ask you one by one for your answer. We're going to alternate each round so that it's only fair. And the first person to fuck up, or the first one to fuck up when the other person does get it right, will be out of the game. So we're starting with roasted chestnuts.
Time to play a game. Let's play a game.
That's your base food. Michael Jameson, would you like to pick sweeter or savourier than roasted chestnuts?
Well, they're quite sweet, really. They're sort of a little bit sweet. I'll go sweeter, though.
Kind of savoury.
Yeah, I'm going to go sweeter.
Okay. MJ has gone sweeter, so Stuart, you can...
Oh, yeah, I mean, savourier.
You're going savourier. Interesting that MJ started with, they're kind of sweet, and then went, I'll go sweeter. Okay. Right then, so...
Well, that means there's going to be one round.
Yeah, I didn't think this game through enough. It's a shame MJ didn't bet on it, because it's panettone.
Oh,
Which is sweeter, he wins. Let's play 3 rounds, fuck it.
Yeah, best of 3, or 3 rounds,
Best of 3.
Love it. The guy who just won clamouring to play best of 3 rounds.
Okay. So, let's start a new base food. Yorkshire puddings.
Oh.
Not necessarily associated to Christmas, however.
No.
I was reaching for foods. So, I'm going to start with Stuart this time. Stuart, Yorkshire puddings. Sweeter or savoury?
Sweeter than a Yorkshire pudding.
Sweeter than a Yorkshire pudding. Michael Jameson.
And I understand that the item that you just pulled out of the Christmas hat, I understand it doesn't give any information on what type of fat was used to cook the Yorkshire pudding.
No, we're going to assume it's just your bog standard average Yorkshire pudding.
And what fat would you use for that, Nate?
Vegetable oil?
Whatever the one Aunt Bessie uses.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, I'll go sweeter.
Go sweeter. Okay. This is the worst game I've ever thought of.
Definitely not. It's Christmassy, mate. I'm feeling festive.
It is Christmas. It is Christmassy. I've pulled out gingerbread.
Sorry, can we just address something? Are you attempting to sound that sexy? Because you're aware it's giving me an erection.
This is how I sound every time. By the way, I'm drinking this quack, and as far as beers go, it's bearable. I'm quite surprised. So
they should put that on the bottle.
Michael Jameson, you're up next. Sweeter or savourier than a gingerbread?
Gingerbread. Oh, it's very sweet, isn't it?
Depends.
Yeah, I'll say savourier on that one.
Depends what fat you've used.
Ooh, you're good.
Stuart, would you like to go?
Yeah, I have to go savourier than a gingerbread.
You both went savoury. Okay, savoury. Just write that down on my little list. Oh, you both crashed and burned. It's Christmas pudding.
Oh, what? Oh, wait.
I mean, you've either both lost or you've both won, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, either way, we move on to the next one, I guess.
Yeah.
So that one was
Move
a draw.
along. Yeah.
That was a draw. So, your new base food. Roasted parsnips.
Oh.
Well,
Not honey roasted before you ask, just plain roasted parsnips.
Ooh. I mean, it's...
That was Stuart to start, isn't it?
I'm gonna go sweeter, purely because I think there are probably more sweeter foods than there are savourier foods in the Santa hat.
Okay.
Yeah, I pondered on that. I pondered if there'd be more sweeter things, but then I wondered if Nate would maybe manipulate the findings to be 50-50, which is what I would probably expect, really. So in the interest of fun, I'm going to go savourier.
Whoa.
MJ is correct that I did try to even it out.
Don't say things like MJ is correct.
MJ said information that was not wrong. He should have bet. Rich is going to be fuming when he listens. It's roast beef.
More savoury.
Which is indeed more savoury. MJ wins 2-0. I don't know how you get 0 on a best of 3, but 2-0. Well done, MJ. That was sweeter or savourier. We'll never play it like that ever again.
No, I liked it. I won.
Well, yeah. But it's still shit.
No, loved it.
It was still shit. I'm glad we did that first. Get the crap out of the way.
Disagree, Nate. I think you're being too hard on not only yourself, but this upstanding podcast.
Is it upstanding? We'll find out. Let's move on to the next thing. Now, normally we would slot in a little section about news, but I suspect, as with most weeks, there's very little kicking around.
I have a minor bit.
So that said, let's just ignore MJ just jumping in. No, go on.
It's more FRUK news, really.
Oh, well, that was what I was going to suggest anyway. I was going to talk. I was going to say, rather than us talking about sort of food news, let's have a quick dissection of the channel, the podcast, where we are in 2017, where we'd like to be in 2018, things we like, things we love, and things we hate.
Yeah, perfect. That fits in wonderfully well. We've got some good news. Nate, I'm not actually sure if you're aware of this. 2018 is going to be our biggest year yet because we're actually going to go viral fairly early on in the year. Stuart has composed a song and I will be rapping over it. We've made or are in the process of making a KFC rap.
Don't KFC already make raps?
Hey! Yeah, it's very good. It's come along very nicely.
Excellent. When do we perceive the album being dropped?
Probably June.
Can you imagine, like me and Michael Jameson form a rap duo, like a middle-aged Rizzle Kicks,
Rizzle FRUKs.
But more diverse because aren't aren't both of the Rizzle kicks black and we're northern and southern? So
Yeah, because that's how diversity works. Yeah.
it's all just latitude or longitude. I don't know.
Rizzle good mix.
Oh God.
Amazing. Yeah, I can't wait for us to become overnight. I say we. I'm not involved in this process one little bit. I can't wait for the channel to become an overnight 3-year success story.
Correct.
Yeah. So as I say, I mean, how are we feeling about the channel? What have you enjoyed this year? What's been good about this year?
It's really made some good progress. I mean, we broke 10,000 this year, didn't we? That was this year.
I think it's beginning, yeah.
And we broke 15,000 recently, so...
Close.
I thought we had.
I think so. What I assume you're referencing is when you click on the Creator Studio, it rounds it up every 500. So the second you go over 14,500, it actually shows us 15,000 on one screen.
Ah, right.
We're
yeah,
close.
So it's basically 15 then.
Yeah, 14,709. We're nearly there. It'll be January.
Yeah, I mean that's impressive to have smashed out 5K in under a year.
Yeah.
On top of that, we reached, was it 4 million views overall?
5 million. We're on 5,320,000 now.
So them views are racking up. Them subscribers are racking up. It's been an impressive year, and actually somebody who gets quite a lot of shit in the comment section from certainly myself, Mr. Matt N, did actually give us some props recently, where he commented that actually our views to subscriber ratio was actually far ahead of some of the bigger names, some of the like the Ken Domics and the like around the world. I think, was it Reckless Eating? I think he maybe name checked as well.
Yes, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, some people look at it and go, "Oh, you've got 14,000 subscribers. Why have you only got 1,000 views?" But when you look at a lot of these big channels, they don't necessarily always get 1-to-1 ratio of views. So I think we're doing as good as, if not better than, some very much bigger names than us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's worth noting. Obviously, another big highlight of this year was this very thing, the podcast.
Yeah, fantastic.
Correct.
Service, product, engaging. I tell you, I haven't been recognised in a while. It's starting to piss me the fuck off.
I've got to admit something, right? I mean, admittedly, I'm not as big a kind of presence on the YouTube channel as you guys. I don't appear in very many videos at all, but I went to Comic-Con in Manchester earlier this year, and I had convinced myself that I was going to get spotted. Like, surely there's got to be some nerd in Manchester at Comic-Con who watches Food Review UK who's going to come up to me and go, "Oh, Stuart, I love you." No, nothing.
This is it, right? I go to fucking UK theme parks where you see like thousands of British people in the day. I've been to like Disney World again. You will see like thousands of British people. Yeah, I spent 2 weeks in Florida going around all these parks where there literally would have been hundreds and hundreds of British people walking around me. No one says a fucking peep. I walk in fucking Co-op 2 minutes outside my house and it's, "Oh, are you the food reviewer?" Fuming.
You're fuming that someone's recognised you.
Well, happy, but
I know we've obviously grown in subscribers since then. I think the biggest thing is that we've been to 2 food festivals in the last sort of couple of years. And don't get me wrong, I'm not suggesting that everybody in the food world knows who we are, but that surprises me that we didn't get clocked at the BBC one.
Yeah,
because there was thousands of people there.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Who are all obviously very much into food. So it's very weird that not one person there, not a stall owner, not somebody walking around. This sounds so egotistical.
No, but mate, it's not.
Section.
So many companies realise that YouTube is massive, and they will, they send out products for review, blah blah blah. But for the food industry, it just doesn't seem like it just doesn't. I mean, no offense to Popcorn Shed, but fucking hell, what was that? they no, you know.
Fuck me.
Okay, I'm marginally calling them out, but realistically, they won't listen because apparently they're ignorant to YouTube or iTunes, wherever this is available.
They only gave us free tickets to a food festival and then free products to review.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They invited us, and Stuart, I'm not 100% sure if you know this. They invited us to Birmingham to the food festival. They got us in for free. They got us free tickets to come there and film a review of their product, their like chocolate and salted caramel glazed popcorn, and then they gave us. We were like, oh yeah, we'll set up to do the video now. They gave us one piece of popcorn each.
What?
In a little pot.
That is insane.
Isn't it?
I did buy some though.
Yeah, so you can fucking taste it.
That is madness.
Yeah, it has been a really wonderful year, though. I've really enjoyed it. And actually, I suppose one of the biggest things from my perspective is a slightly reduced schedule. I used to spend... I still spend a lot of time on a Sunday working on the channel, but I don't spend quite as long these days. We dropped to one video a weekday instead of two. So it's meant I've got a fairly decent amount of time back from my weekend. Which is good.
Without any real drop-off in terms of fans or anything.
Yeah, the only real thing that you see is that the weekends are a little more accentuated on the statistics. The views sort of significantly increase on the weekends, but it's not crazy, and it's not as big as maybe I would have thought.
No, obviously we got a few people commenting on it when it went down, because you did it gradually. It obviously went down from 3 to 2, then 2 to 1. We did get a few people commenting that they're usual, which is nice to know, because obviously that goes to show that there are people that actually are waiting for specific times. So it's not just random people just going, oh, I wonder if MJ's done any new videos today. It's literally they've gone, okay, he uploads at whatever it was, like 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 3 o'clock, or whatever the times were. So when there was one missing, they were like, where the fuck is he? That's good, because that obviously shows that we've got serious fanship. We've got people that are not just there because, you know, they're losers or whatever. We've got people that actually want to...
Good.
I'm saying that we don't have that.
Notification squad. Love it. We've had an increase in very friendly trolls, actually.
Yeah.
This year, there's been a lot of sort of interesting ones, and just fans in general, really.
And obviously the old guard, the Chodes and the John Hunts and the gender fluid person and people like that have still stuck around. And,
that's it.
We've cultivated. I say we, like we had any fucking choice in it. But we've cultivated a nice little community down there. And nice is probably not the word I should be using.
That sounds weird. We've cultivated a nice little community down there.
It's PC speak for grooming. Yeah, so I think the channel's in good health, and like I say, I mean, I'm personally a fan of this. I've loved the podcast this year.
Yeah, fantastic, and thank you guys for all your help with it. I mean, sorry, obviously I'm saying that as if I'm still the mastermind behind it. I just show up occasionally, drink a Four Loko, and try to ruin things.
God, you don't try to ruin things.
You succeed. You do a very good job of it, Michael.
Thank you.
And any other 2017 highlights for you, Stuart?
No, I echo what you said. I mean, the podcast really has been the thing that I feel has been my real way into to being a bigger part of FRUK, because I've been involved since the beginning, but I've been a minor character, and I think the podcast has perhaps seen my stock rise somewhat, and as a rampant egotist, obviously that matters an awful lot to me. So fingers crossed, next year at Comic-Con I will be recognised, possibly by voice rather than face.
This is sort of it was semi-conceived by all of us, but at the same time I think it's fair to say, as soon as it became clear we were going to be doing a podcast, Stuart ran with the idea, and many of the things that we do today have come from his beautiful northern brain.
I am the Podfather.
So anybody who loves the podcast, for example, Mr. Bong Lungs himself, who's an avid listener, you can thank Stuart. He is your hero.
Bloody love Bong Lungs. LE2 Stiffy.
Good lad, isn't he?
He's a good lad.
Bong Lungs, if you're listening, smoker, doobie, dank, weed, marijuana, weedy, flibby, flobby, Rizzler, roach, dime. For me, pal, take a toke on that sweet, sweet tang.
Michael, have you ever done drugs?
I have tried marijuana.
You seem to add 2 extra H's in that word somehow. Marijuana.
Yeah, mate.
You're not a fan though?
No. Well, I went to art college, so obviously I did sort of skunk and blocky. For nothing crazy in terms of frequency. It maybe took partook 1, 2 or 3 times a week. Nothing crazy.
What if we persuaded Mr. Milford to bake some cookies for you?
Oh, fuck me.
Would you review them on the channel?
Yeah, I think I would. No, not I think I would. I 100% would.
Rich.
There we go. Go on, Rich.
I'd probably smoke a doobie.
Jesus.
Like occasionally.
Would you go back to the 70s to do it?
I just wouldn't. Nowadays, I just wouldn't. Honestly, the thought of having to seek out drugs terrifies me. I'd be what's it? I'd be a vulnerable person.
You'd be back to coming out of co-op, looking around the dodgy streets of Aylesbury.
That's it. Yeah.
Excellent.
You guys smash drugs?
Never touched it. My body is a temple, as you can probably tell from looking at me. No, I've seriously never touched anything stronger than alcohol. That includes
moving on,
normal... Huh?
Moving on.
Sorry, I've smoked a Scooby.
What, one of those little bracelets that people were making about 10 years ago?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I make them periodically a couple of times through the year. Obviously, because I can't let go of crazes.
Correct.
Moving on, shall we? So that was our So 2017. Can't even finish the word. 2017, great year. 2018, even better year. We're going to bring you some really good hosts and guests for this podcast in the next 12 months. As you've probably guessed, and as we've mentioned, tonight's show is all about Christmas. Before we talk about what our traditions are on the day, what we like to eat, all that thing, it's time for a bit of Quivia. So we've obviously not got a guest that I can fix to win this, so it is head-to-head again.
Well, surely we should just fix it so that Stuart wins.
Correct. Well, I mean, we don't need to fix it so that I win.
Yeah.
Because I beat you every time, fair and square.
Exactly. I'll find some way to fuck myself. Always do.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That's the name of this the channel. Oh, fuck me, I'm drunk already. This quack has gone straight to my head. Right.
I thought you said you'd never tried anything. Because it sounds like crack.
I get it.
Yeah. Good that, Michael. Yeah.
Crack is a white drug.
Question 1.
Cocaine.
These are all fairly shit questions.
I'm really looking forward to it. Brilliant.
Before Scrooge bought him a turkey,
Michael Caine.
What? So Michael Caine. Hang on. Michael James Michael Caine.
Oh, hang on. No. Sorry.
I've got to take your first answer.
Oh. Can I?
Before Scrooge bought him a turkey, what bird was to be eaten by Bob Cratchit?
Oh, okay. I would have said Michael Caine anyway.
What bird? Mrs. Cratchit?
I was expecting a joke from one of you about him eating Mrs. Cratchit.
What bird? Hang on. This strikes me as odd. Why? I thought that the turkey was something that came like kind of 50s over to Britain and was an American thing. Was it a turkey traditionally in A Christmas Carol?
I believe that's what I read earlier, that it was turkey. I can't,
Right.
attest to it now, but I did my research then.
Okay, I'm going to go for... I mean, God.
I do know the answers. I just want to say that before Stuart gives his answer, and then I'll.
Yeah, I mean, I can go on Google as well, Michael. I just choose not to.
Michael.
Yeah. Alta Vista. Jeeves, what turkey? What bird does Bob Crack? Something pathetic. Let's go for
Guinea fowl.
Oh.
No, I'm joking. My actual answer is goose.
Well, no, because a turkey's not an upgrade from a goose. I'm going to say just a chicken.
Oh.
A bantam.
Of course you'd say a bantam.
Yeah.
It's not an upgrade really, but in the context of A Christmas Carol, which was written by Charles Dickens and released in 1843, the Cratchit family were going to be eating a goose.
Dickens by name, dickhead by nature.
Question 2. In a survey taken in October 2015 by britishturkey.co.uk, how much do we spend per head on Christmas dinner? And when I say we, the British public.
Incorrect. I don't buy any heads.
Right, that's 0 for Michael Jamieson.
Sorry.
So Stuart, technically an answer of £1 will actually win this question for you.
For Christmas dinner?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can.
In a survey taken in October 2015 by britishturkey.co.uk, how much do we spend per head on Christmas dinner? By we, I mean the British public.
Does this include alcohol?
It didn't say. I think it's the food. I think it's just the food.
Okay, I'm going to go £18.37. The 37 is important.
It is important.
Wow. Well, I'm going to do a little bit of maths here, guys. So, this is just Christmas dinner.
Yeah, that's the question because we're doing a Christmas episode.
18 seems far too high. So the average size of a family in the UK, or a household, I should say, is 3.13. So the average size turkey purchased, you would have to assume, would be one that serves 4. Turkey that serves 4 people would be somewhere in the region of 10 to 12 pounds. So if we,
you mad, bro?
We'll go on the high 12. Vegetables, etc., probably £5. Condiments, goose fat is probably present. So we'll go another 3. So that's 5 plus 3 plus 12 is 19. So I'm going to say 9.
No, it's not.
Wait, hang on.
5 plus 3 plus 12 is not. And also you said 18 seems too high, and now you're going way above what I said.
because Stuart, I haven't divided it by 3.13 yet.
Oh,
so
right, yeah.
So 19-ish.
Well,
so
20.
£6. £6.23.
£6.23.
Stuart wins. Next question.
The answer is £20.19.
What an idiot. Mate.
£6 per head. You go to the... No, I'm not going to say that because I'll end up insulting your family by saying you go to the worst Christmases in the world.
Toby Carvery. Bloody hell. You're with Nate at the Toby Carvery again, aren't you?
The survey also goes on to say that 66% of us will be dining on turkey at Christmas, 7% on chicken, 6% on beef, 2% on goose, and 2% on pork. That leaves 17% that they don't account for, so I don't know what the fuck those people are eating.
Pigs in blankets.
Vegetarians, huh?
Pigs in blanket. My friend at work, she actually, I think she was saying that this is what happened last year. They went round her mother's house, and her mother said, her mother sounds like a bit of a character. Her mother said, "Fuck it, I can't be bothered to do a full roast. What's your favourite bits?" And I think her boyfriend said cheese, and she said pigs in blankets. So she said, "Okay, I'll just do loads of pigs in blankets and cheese."
Oh wow, that's a meal.
Correct.
Do you know what? Just thinking of that, I saw something the other day that described them as pigs under blankets.
What?
That's fucking stupid.
I can't remember what I saw it on, but it was like it was a sandwich. It was a Christmas sandwich, and it was like turkey and blah 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 and pigs under blankets. do you mean under blankets?
I can only assume that would refer to the composition of the sandwich. I can only assume that the sausages were perhaps sliced in half, laid on a piece of bread flatly, and then the bacon was put on top. That is, if it doesn't refer to that, then I have severe problems with that comment.
But what the fuck? Like someone's going, I don't like pigs in blankets, but I do love a good pig under blanket. What's the fucking point? Oh, anyway.
Michael's absolutely right there. That's the only... I have serious reservations about pigs under blankets. No.
Yeah. That's a good title for the show. Number 3. What is the world record quickest time to eat 3 mince pies?
I want to release a film called Serious Reservations now. It would definitely be set in a hotel.
Brilliant. Is that the end of the joke, or?
Sort of, yeah. I'm getting drunk.
Good work.
I've nearly finished my quack, by the way.
Yeah, I've finished my homebrew, and I'm currently nearly finishing Brewdog Hoppy Christmas Festive IPA, which is very nice.
Oh.
I've got a Brewdog in my box.
Oh, what is it?
I can't remember without looking at it. I think I've got a photo of it. I'll tell you in a second. So yeah, question 3. While you answer that,
3 Christmas pies.
Mince pies, not
Christmas pies.
No such thing as Christmas pie.
Yeah, there is. That's what they're called, mate. Christmas pies.
No,
Christmas pie. The fastest time to eat 3 Christmas pies, I'm going to say 37 seconds.
37 seconds. By the way, it's Punk IPA.
Oh, right, yeah. Punk's good standard beer. Yeah, it's all right.
I'm about to move on to Enkir.
What?
Beer. I'm about to move on to Enkir. Enkir.
Never heard of it. More information needed.
There's a lot of small writing, mate.
I think
It's a really weird bottle. I'll take a photo and send it to you.
Sweet. Cheers, Mum.
12 seconds per pie with an increased time per pie as each pie goes by of 15%, which would bring it to 46 seconds.
As pie goes by.
66. So how long did you say? Sorry,
46 seconds.
46 seconds. Wow, this might be MJ's best yet round. He's taken that one. The actual record is 54 seconds, set by Robert Edward Lee in Ellenbrook, Australia, on the 17th of August, 2013. For a bonus point, it's not quite Christmas food, but it's something we often eat at Christmas, I guess. What's the fastest time to eat 15 Ferrero Rocher?
Oh, wow. So they would become quite clagging. There's a lot of nut to get through, so you do have to properly chew it. 15.
15.
Right, hang on.
I really don't think you could do them quicker than 7 seconds, maybe, per one.
Oh. 15. 8. 10, that's 80. Another 5, 40, 120. That's 2 minutes. Add a bit. 2 minutes 20.
Yeah, that's good. I think 70. I think 87 seconds. So 1 minute and 27 seconds.
I mean, Stuart, 2 minutes 22 seconds.
Oh,
right. In
wow.
your face.
You get 2 points for only being 2 seconds off.
In and around your face, Michael Jameson.
Okie dokie. So question 4. I've just sent the photos of that ink here, by the way. Question 4. According to a survey by the Food Network, what percentage of brave British men admit that their partner's dinner is better than their mother's?
Oh.
Hang on.
Oh
shit.
Oh. I'm going to say 37%.
Oh, that's rank. 37.
Yeah.
So this is people who admit that their partners is better than their mothers.
Yeah, their partner's Christmas dinner is better than their mother's.
Who are they admitting it to?
Their mother. I don't know. It was a survey.
Yeah, doesn't mean much to me without context, unfortunately. So I will go.
All right, it was Steve. Steve said, I don't know. Go on.
32%.
What context do you need?
Who are they saying it to?
The survey. It was a survey. The Food Network.
Les Dennis.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Anonymous.
They said it. They said it to me.
Okay. Partners better than mothers. Yeah. Probably only 29%.
29%. Oh, it's a shame. You get minus 1 point there, MJ, because it was actually 28%. So that's minus 1 for you.
Because I was one off.
Yeah. Because you were close, but just miles off. Also, question 5. So the score going into this last one is 3 for Stuart and 1 for MJ.
Seems unfair, but carry on.
Question 5. In dollars. Okay. In dollars. How much would the cost of milk and cookies left out for Santa around the world each year add up to?
Jesus.
Milk and cookies, okay.
Right, so all of if you added up the cost of all of the milk and cookies left around the world for Santa Claus, how much would it cost?
Depends.
Can I ask,
is the cookie sweeter or savourier than an Airways?
Brilliant. Can I have some details?
Yeah, correct. I also want details.
Well, you can ask, but I don't have any.
Right. Are we talking right? Well, you've got to make this up. Come on, style it out. Is it like literally every child or every household is leaving some milk and cookies, or is it the cost of the household? Because in my house, we don't leave out milk and cookies. We leave out a Christmas pie and a small glass of a quite delicious malt whiskey. Because when Santa gets to my house, what he really wants is a whiskey. So there is no milk and cookie cost associated with my house. So are we assuming that there was, or are we?
I think what's happened is they've asked 100 people, do you leave out milk and cookies? They've worked out how many of those do. They've then timed the likelihood of the millilitres and number of cookies left out by the number of people, extrapolated that to the billions across the world, including the starving Africans probably, and then just come up with a figure based on presumably the retail price index currently in place. Right.
Michael, go on. Name a price so I can go up any more.
So I do want to... that sounds fair. I do want to say, after this portion, Stuart has reminded me of a very unrelated but very worthwhile anecdote. So I will say, cost-wise... Okay, so a cookie is what? Probably like 15 to 20p. 15 to 25p. Milk is £1 for a pint. It's like probably a fifth of that, so 20p. So 45p. 45p per person. 2 pints, sorry, whatever the long and thin one is. We can buy it in the supermarkets down here, Stuart.
Brilliant.
We don't have to go straight to the cow.
Yeah.
So 45p times 4 billion. 4 billion p. 45p? No.
Hang on, 4 billion p.
16 billion pence.
16 billion pence. So let's. That's. What is that? That's 1.6 billion.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 1.6 billion.
1.6 billion dollars per. So you think around the world, 1.6 billion dollars?
I think I see my flaw. Shit, I fucked up. Yeah, because I basically assumed that everyone, including the third world people, do it.
Also, you've said 4 billion. There's a few more people than 4 billion, even if you didn't include them.
Because the people in the third world probably can afford to get rid of half a glass of milk and a cookie.
You've also assumed every single person's doing it in a family household.
Yeah, that's just redundant.
All 3.13 people living in that house. Stuart, would you like to say 1 penny less than that?
Yeah, I mean, are you any good with algebra?
I am.
Okay, what I'd like you to do is where x is Michael Jamieson's estimate, I'm going x minus 1.
X minus 1. £1 or 1 penny?
One unit. Well, it's dollars, so one. Go for one. We'll go for a book. Let's go for a whole book.
So you're saying
gambler.
You're saying 1 billion $599,999
Yeah, let's say that if he wins now and it's somewhere in between our two guesses. Hashtag we riot.
You were both over $1 billion off.
Oh.
You'll be surprised to know. The answer is actually $189 million. Hashtag Santa isn't real. Hashtag food waste.
Oh,
yeah. What if,
hashtag bastard. What?
yeah, what if children listen to this podcast? What's that about?
Well, I think there's a bigger fish to fry if they listen to this podcast. Okay, so quickly out of the way, let's talk Christmas. Before we delve into your food habits, let's get a little flavour of what the Christmas households are like for you two guys. What do you do? What's a stereotypical Christmas for you guys? Where are you based? What are you doing?
Go on, Michael.
All right, yeah, well, yeah, lovely. All right, it's fantastic. Yeah. So Claire and I, my loving wife, we go to Claire's family's house. So what we will do, we'll wake up. Well, we're talking about Christmas Day, right?
Yeah, well, Christmas Eve. If you've got any sort of non-food related traditions for Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay. So we
incorporate those.
I have, if I'm working, I may or may not go out for just a cheeky, festive, communal, friendly drink after work. But I don't think I've worked the last couple of Christmas Eve. So Claire and I usually just spend the day together. Good old fashioned, watch the solid telly that's on. We'll typically get a takeaway and just have a very bloody lovely, relaxing evening. Very festive.
Mm-hmm.
And then Christmas Day, so we'll wake up, we will do our stockings, open the stockings in bed, then we'll go down, open each other's presents, which will of course be under the tree. Then we'll get ready, excuse me, and then we'll go over to Claire's parents' house, where we will sort of wait for everyone to get themselves ready and whatnot. Then we will do the classic opening of presents. Everyone opens their presents. I will usually play some video games in the living room. I love a bit of Christmas festive video game action. Watch the classic movies. Then obviously lunch. After lunch, nice bit of cracking TV. We'll usually bust out a board game and have just a merry old evening. And then Claire and I would usually retire to a not too late of an evening, retire to bed and just have a lovely festive sleep. Pretty standard and traditional, I'd say.
Can I take you back to a point you made earlier? Come down on Christmas morning, open your presents which are under the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are your presents like now under the tree?
Yeah.
So your Christmas presents for your wife are currently, as we speak, sitting under the Christmas tree in your living room.
That's right. Yeah.
You're a fucking savage.
What?
Yeah,
oh,
you're
really?
a savage.
Oh, is that bad?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh dear, that's what Claire likes, I'm afraid.
I'm only guessing, would your objection here, Stuart, is it the fear that the wife would possibly feel, shake, smell, taste,
no,
to try and guess
no,
what it
she'd
is?
be welcome to.
It's the magic of Christmas, my friend. Father Christmas brings my wife's presents and lays them out on the floor in much the same way as Father Christmas has always done for me throughout my life.
How, if I may ask about your family life 1 second, you presumably lived with Jem before Theo was around?
Correct, yeah.
Did you also do that tradition before he came around, or is this because Theo?
No, we've always, I mean, admittedly, you know, when you look at the actual, the mechanics of it all, what tends to happen is at about, I don't know, half 11 on Christmas Eve night, we both kind of disappear, come back 5 minutes later, arrange a pile of presents on the living room floor in plain view of each other, and then go to bed, and then in the morning come downstairs and pretend that we didn't see that. But it's, you know, as you'll see when I tell you about my Christmas Eve proceedings, there is an awful lot of bowing to imaginary characters that happens in my household.
Okay, well let's get cracking on it. What happens? What is the Bullock Christmas life like?
Christmas Eve. Neither of us tend to work on Christmas. Well, I obviously don't work on Christmas Eve. Gemma has in the past. In the past, what we used to do, she was working, is I would take her to work and we'd go for a nice breakfast. And then she'd usually be on a half day and I'd pick her up. Since that doesn't really happen anymore, our big Christmas tradition is that, and I've mentioned this before on the podcast, is we have calzones, which I will be starting to make on Thursday evening, because I'm doing Michael Jamieson's 72-hour pizza dough this year. So we have our calzones, and then we go to church on Christmas Eve. We go to the Chris Kindle service at church on Christmas Eve to celebrate, I would say, probably the second most prominent fictional character that's involved in Christmas. And I mean, this might surprise you, but I bloody love a good church sing-song. And none more so than at Christmas time. I am the loudest man in the church, the proudest singer in the church, and I give it the full Christmas Carol whack.
Really?
Love it.
I can understand.
Yeah, love it.
You're not actually religious, though, are you?
I'm not. I mean, I've got a small Christmas. No, I'm not. I'm a fully.
Was it the bit where he talked about the fictional character? Give it away.
I am. I've got a brilliant Christmas anecdote, which I'll share with you now, if that's all right. I like a drink at Christmas, and about 5 years ago, my son was christened. My wife wanted to have my son christened. I went along with it, but I told under the proviso that I did not have to stand at the front of the church and say things that were untrue. And the priest at the church, the priest at the church was actually really accommodating, really nice woman. She was like, "Yeah, we can work around that. Don't do anything that makes you feel uncomfortable. Actually, I appreciate the fact that you've been honest, because so many people just have the kids christened when they just get it done because it's almost expected or whatever to get them into a school or something." Yeah. So she quite liked it. But then she embarked on what I like to think of as a bit of a long con, like something out of Hustle, which was, let's punish the atheist. And perhaps her greatest moment was when she phoned me at 10:30, 3 nights before Christmas. I imagine she knew full well that I'd had a few beers, to tell me that they had no organist for the Carols by Candlelight service. And to cut a long story short, I cannot play the organ, yet ended up in a church at midnight playing the organ for a Carols by Candlelight.
Oh, that is amazing.
Literally, I went. It wasn't on the same night that I was drunk. I went and spent an entire day practicing the organ in a church, learning how to play the organ so that I could play in a carol service, so I didn't upset Jesus.
And how do you feel you got on? Did you smash it, or was it?
Absolutely smashed it, mate. Oh, I mean, I could join the Doors now. I'm that quality of organist now. I'm skilled. Let's just say I'm skilled.
I have to say, I'm quite a famous atheist that I've been recognised a number of times. But
not enough though, eh?
Well, certainly not recently. But Chris Dingle is actually one of my happiest memories of church. Not only because all my other memories of church were being groomed by priests.
Jesus.
No, that's obviously a joke.
Jesus Christ.
I've never been groomed by a priest. But yeah, I do have good memories of sticking candied fruits into an orange.
Yeah.
And priest penises into your mouth.
It's nice that you can laugh about it now.
The candle being pierced into the citrus wasn't the only thing that let out a little juice. Oh, fuck.
Jesus Christ. So that's your Christmas Eve. What about your Christmas Day?
Wake up, discover the presents that Father Christmas has left, open the presents. Now that there is a small boy that is more focused on him rather than us. And for the last 3 years, it's been then my parents come to us. They'll get here late morning. There will then be another round of present opening, followed by food, beer, cheese, coma.
Isn't being a kid fantastic?
Yeah. He loves the beer. Yeah.
Not when you were a child though. Like I assume you guys were saying, oh, when you were a child that you wanted to be an adult, and now you look back and go, so much easier being a child.
God, it's just awful being an adult, isn't it?
What's the benefit of being an adult? Money.
Yeah, money.
Money and freedom.
I can buy all the toys that I couldn't afford when I was a child, but I don't have any time to play with them.
Yeah, I've got more Lego now than I had when I was a child.
Yeah.
And beer. Beer. I think beer is probably the. Oh.
There's nothing stopping you drinking as a child, to be fair.
Well, no, I'm from Yorkshire, so almost expected.
What about you, Nate? Are you looking forward to a Christmas with Adelaide? Well, I suppose sort of your second
first
one.
proper one.
Yeah.
First proper one.
First proper one, yeah. I was going to say this year's going to be an odd one because obviously the last sort of 5 or 6 years I've spent Christmas with or at Laura's mum's. We tend to go there Christmas Eve, get like a Chinese takeaway or something like that. We wouldn't necessarily stay there, although we would once or twice we did stay there. But
I wonder if takeaways are incredibly busy on Christmas Eve.
I think they must be. I think I'll be interested to see what happens this year because obviously it's a Sunday, so we don't know what we're going to be. We haven't yet decided what we're going to be doing on Christmas Eve because we don't know what will be open and what we want to have because we're seeing we've got friends around on Thursday for a Chinese, so whether we want that again like 3 days later, I don't know. But anyway, so that would be our normal plan. But this year, I think it's just going to be us three. I don't know whether we'll do anything special to commemorate the fact that it's Christmas Eve or whether we'll just save our energy for the next day because obviously we're going to be at home. Going to be the first Christmas I've had at my own home, possibly since I was a kid. Like I think I've always been around someone else's since I was probably maybe not a kid, but maybe like 20 or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's a long old time. So it'd be nice to actually have a Christmas home. Laura's mum will be coming and sharing it with us. Laura will obviously be doing the majority of the cooking, heavy lifting, I would think. I would think that in terms of the plan for the day, similar to you guys, we'll have our presents relatively early, have our dinner midday, about 1 o'clock or something like that, I think, sort of an early afternoon. And then just try and chill out for the rest of the day and just watch a bit of TV, play around with anything we've got as presents and stuff like that. It's not going to be super, super hectic. I don't know whether Laura's brother's going to be coming around. But if he does, then obviously that'll be another round of presents, I would have thought, in the afternoon. But no, it's funny how much time and energy and money is spent on just this day that actually it's not even the full day. It's done by sort of early afternoon. Yeah. After that, it's just recovering for 364 days.
I think it's worth mentioning that literally it's only been the last 2 or 3 years that I've managed to sleep past about 4 a.m. on Christmas Day. I get it's an absolute curse. As a child, I used to be awake from like 2 a.m. and just waiting until 7 o'clock, which was the designated time that I was allowed to go and wake my parents up.
Yeah.
And never really got past that, even as an adult, like 25 years old, and I'd be awake 2-3 o'clock in the morning, struggling to sleep.
Yeah, I'm all right as an adult, but I was really, really bad as a kid. Same situation. I just couldn't get to sleep. Just could not get to sleep, and just couldn't. I just couldn't do it, could I? I suppose I've always been very excited and very interested in material possession, and that's why I'm so in tune to the idea that, people say, money can't buy you happy. Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. Of course it
can't buy you happiness.
It can buy you Lego, and that's pretty much the same thing.
Exactly. So. If Lego makes you happy and money buys you Lego, it's maths, probably.
Yeah.
Science and maths.
Yeah, science, maths, physiology, biology.
I'm kind of the same. I find it hard to sleep as late as I would on any other weekend or any other day. Maybe not. I mean, the first year that Laura and I lived together, I was up ridiculously early, like 2:00 in the morning or something stupid like that.
Did you wet the bed?
I did wet the bed and shit it, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, I actually know that's a true story as well.
It's really weird. It's because you were there. It's really weird that if you said, right, there's a present, but you can't open it for 7 days, I'd have amazing self-control. Like there'd be I wouldn't be shaking it, I wouldn't be doing anything to try and guess what it is. I'd just be like, okay, that's fine, I can open that in 7 days. But for some reason, Christmas Eve going into Christmas Day, it's just like it just fucking plays around with your mind and it just wakes you up early. I don't know why. I'm an adult now. Why does that do that to me still?
It's still amazing. Christmas is the best day.
Excuse me.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it is the best day. Yeah.
I forgot the other tradition that we have actually started doing is that we try. It's not always worked, but we try to stay up as late as possible on Christmas Eve, hopefully through till midnight, and then I will open one present at like midnight plus 1 minute.
Oh, that's cute.
So that we sort of, because Santa Claus comes at midnight, obviously. Drops off the presents, and we're like, right, we're going to open one, and then we'll go to bed. Which also helps us, but I don't know whether we'll do that now we've got a kid.
I think that's wrong. We have I should have probably mentioned this. We have a Christmas Eve box, which probably fulfills the same kind of role as that, but it doesn't have surprises in it. It has some Christmas Eve treats. We always get new pajamas. They go in there. Stuff like that.
We're starting that this year, so like I say, I mean, this year's up in the air. We've got no fucking idea what we're going to be doing or how we're going to try and make new traditions. I know you shouldn't really force them, but at the same time, we're sort of just trying to. This is our first year as a family, so it's going to be sort of working out what works and what doesn't work and stuff. So
it's nice. It's absolutely brilliant. Making your own traditions is so empowering. Particularly when you've got kids, because I think we're all the same, that we all love Christmas. We grew up with Christmas being such a big thing. It means so much to us now still as adults because of that nostalgia. And by having these strong Christmas traditions, you're making sure that there's still going to be magic in children's lives. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Even if perhaps as an adult it might feel forced, it's not for you. It is. Well, it is still, because I mean, it is all about me. Everything, yeah. That song that McFly sang, it's all about me.
It's weird because, like, Laura was asking me whether my family had traditions when I was a kid, and I don't really remember any. I mean, there might have been, and maybe my memory's failing me, but it's not like we did certain things on Christmas Eve and certain things for breakfast, and it's just I just remember them just all being great. That was the tradition. They were great. Yeah. I don't really remember there being specific, so we're trying to implement something like that. So there's going to be something cute that Adelaide can take forward to when she has a family one day, hopefully.
Oh.
Now that we've got the non-food stuff out of the way, obviously you guys have mentioned your Christmas Eve traditions. What about your Christmas Day? Do you have a specific breakfast that you'll have in the morning?
Generally, for us, it'll involve bacon.
What type of bacon? I mean, how cooked are we talking?
Yeah, I mean, actually cooked, not seed. Actual bacon, perhaps with pancakes, perhaps with French toast.
Wow.
Possibly even just a bacon butty. But we don't breakfast. I leave for work at 7:00 in the morning. My breakfast is a rushed thing in the mornings. At weekends, and you've got all this to look forward to, Saturday and Sunday mornings, my wife is taking my son out to activities reasonably early in the morning. So breakfast is not a ting in my house. So Christmas Day, we make it a ting. So, and for me, that's bacon.
Yeah, you have the best breakfast on it.
Yeah, I don't know what we're having this year. Last year we thought about getting a waffle maker and doing bacon and waffles.
Oh, wow.
Don't know what will happen this year. It'll be bacon though, don't worry. Even if it's just bacon butties, it'll be bacon.
I was worried. I'll be honest. I was worried there wasn't going to be bacon involved.
Don't worry, there will be bacon.
I feel like I need to worry.
I think I've seen a film called There Will Be Bacon.
Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis. It's fantastic.
That's it. Yeah, Paul Dano. Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Paul Dane Pack. Just me then.
Funniest part of that.
Great actor. Title of the podcast, Paul Dane Pack. No, obviously not. No, I'll tell you what, Stuart's inspired me, actually. This whole calzone business. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to do a calzone for breakfast, but just the concept, and he's probably not he's probably not the first person to come up with a Christmas tradition, but I want to have a Christmas tradition, and that Christmas tradition, I've decided this year, is going to be smoked salmon for breakfast.
Just smoked salmon, or?
Yeah, smoked salmon, lemon, boom, plate of that. Already bought it. It's in date until a good solid week or two after the big day. So yeah, I'm gonna actually have that Christmas Eve breakfast and Christmas Day breakfast.
So when you suggested that Stuart had given you the idea to have a tradition of having something for breakfast, and the fact you've already bought the smoked salmon.
Go on.
You already. What I'm trying to get at is he's not inspired you really, has he? I think for our breakfast this year we're going to be pancaking it up. I think.
Wow.
Look, it's just an easy, delicious breakfast to have in the morning. So I think pancakes are definitely on our sort of tradition horizon. Love a good pancake. Now,
hang on. As someone who doesn't cook, aren't all breakfasts easy for you?
Oh well, some are harder to eat, aren't they? I guess.
You're talking about
bagels, for example. It's not really their fault, but they got a hole in them.
Reference.
But pancakes, they're easy for Laura, and if it's easy for Laura, they're easy for me. So
I love them. I don't know why they're panned.
Oh, Jesus.
But Stuart mentioned French toast. I haven't had French toast in so long.
Oh, mate.
I love a good bit of French toast.
Yeah, correct.
There is a chain. I don't know whether it's in places other than... I know they've got one in Liverpool and one in Manchester called Moose Coffee. And I went there for a Christmas Eve breakfast a few years ago, and they do French toast with peanut butter and jam, and I had that with a side of bacon, and that was amazing. French toast, peanut butter, jam, bacon.
Oh.
Yeah.
You guys, I think both you sort of suggested your lunch, your Christmas dinner is sort of more of a late lunch. You don't have any lunch between your breakfast and your Christmas dinner?
Oh, no. It's like a 2 or 3 o'clocker. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think mine's usually a 1 to 2. I'll probably bust open some nuts or chocolate that I would have had as a present.
You'll bust open a nut during Christmas Day.
Fuck.
There must be. I mean, obviously, not those people that obviously working in the emergency services and have to work on Christmas Day. That's obviously entirely, their fault. But there must be some psychopaths out there that have like a proper dinner, like as in they have their Christmas dinner at like 6, 7 o'clock at night.
Weirdos.
Because they're just genuine weirdos. And
that infuriates me.
Imagine having to wait all that time.
Christmas dinner is lunch. It is lunch. It's a late lunch because you're not, you eat things in the morning, don't you? You get a chocolate orange.
Yeah, you'll get some presents.
Yeah, you will get. Ideally.
Thinking about it, going back to a tremendous episode we did a few weeks ago with Captain Harlock about roasts. As we discovered, most of our roasts are on a Sunday. Like your general roast dinners.
Good knowledge.
Is it fair to say that most of those are late lunches in themselves?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you guys ever eat sort of a lunch within, ignoring the occasional one, but generally speaking, would you say, most of your roasts are late lunches anyway?
Yeah. Most of our roasts, we'll make a decision that it's going to be a one proper meal day. We'll have a decent breakfast, and then we'll just have a roast about 3 o'clock.
It's a bizarre thing though, because there's no other meal that we have, no other sort of quote unquote dinner meal that we have so regularly as a late lunch.
No.
There's no one's going, oh, I'm going to have this curry at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Like it's a weird tradition that roasts seem to be more often than not. A late lunch.
You consider 1 o'clock to be a late lunch. What time's lunchtime?
Well, yeah, I guess 1 o'clock's probably not late lunch, but
I think once you get past about 1:30, 2 o'clock, you're into late lunch territory.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you're eating your lunch at 1 o'clock, I think that's pretty standard. Anything between 12 and 1.
All right.
That's the hour of lunch.
Yeah.
I apologise, Stuart. I was using late lunch to encompass all times of lunches. Is that okay? Sorry,
No.
I didn't say late lunch and lunch times, normal and early lunch times, and other times.
I can't even remember what I have for dinner on Christmas Day. I think maybe even just dessert is sort of dinner. Because that's normally a good hour after lunch, isn't it?
Well, I mean, speaking of Christmas dinner, then what? I mean, I would imagine we're all turkey people, yeah? I think MJ even said turkey's his favourite roast.
I fucking love turkey. Yeah,
An idiot.
I'm not.
Psychopath.
It might be my favourite. I just love turkey.
Clown.
It's tasty.
Absolute clown.
Turkey's nice, don't get me wrong. It's decent enough. I'll never turn down a turkey. But to say it's your favourite, that's just psychopath behaviour.
To be fair, because I do only have it at Christmas, it could be the emotional link to it that it is always associated with the best day of the year. Is Christmas your favourite day of the year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, obviously, because it's just fantastic, isn't it?
Second meats. Do we prescribe to that? Are we having a gammon or a beef or something else to go alongside the turkey?
It's usually done in our household, but I don't usually partake. I usually stay fairly on brand. I think I mentioned in the roast episode that I prefer the gravy to be the same flavour as the meat, so that will usually have some bearing on my meat decision.
Obviously, this is going to have a little bit of overlap with the roast episode. But what are your sides? What do you have? Sort of specific ones that are just Christmas roasts? Christmas roast.
I'd say pigs in blankets usually only come out at Christmas.
Yeah,
agreed.
Which is madness.
Yeah,
which is madness.
It is mental, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Probably because I'd maybe suggest that it might be two factors. One, pigs in blankets aren't necessarily as readily available as a combined product in other times of the year. And two, that if you were to make them yourself, sausage and bacon aren't necessarily by themselves particularly affordable. So it becomes quite an expensive side order, is what I would say.
My mother-in-law she's a particular eater, let's put it that way. And pigs in blankets she loves. However, she will not abide just shop bought ones. She has to, every year they have to be homemade one, which obviously is great because that's generally speaking going to be better. But yeah, she won't have just run of the mill frozen ones from whatever. She will have to make them.
Love it.
Standardly.
Love it.
Yeah. Easy to make. I totally disagree, Michael. Bacon and sausages are both incredibly affordable.
Wow. Fair comment.
Definitely, if you're happy to downgrade, I guess. Like, I know that you guys are obviously foodies that probably don't, but obviously you can get very affordable sausages, very affordable bacon if you really want to.
Well, with sausages, you want a little chipolata for pigs in blankets, and they tend, even if you go and buy them from a butcher's, they're not going to be. Sausages are the epitome of an affordable meat. You know, sausages and mince are your affordable meats, and bacon. And you don't need a super good quality bacon for a pigs in blanket. There's no point in buying an expensive, thick-cut, dry-cured bacon. It's streaky bacon. It's thin. It's a millimetre thick. It's fine. And
I suppose in Yorkshire you can just go and hack a chunk out of your neighbour's pig anyway, can't you?
Yeah, that's what I do. I have a special knife that I use for mutilating my neighbour's livestock.
Calls it my eating stick.
Just one very quick pause while I grab a third beer. Whee!
Good lad.
Oh, yes.
I am back on the homebrew after one commercially available beer.
Go on.
And what do you mean?
Did you already say what the commercially available beer is?
Yeah, it was Brewdog Hoppy Christmas, which was very nice.
The Hoppy Christmas. What makes it Christmassy?
I don't. Do you know what? It's not particularly Christmassy, which is a good thing because most of the Christmassy beers
Cinnamon
aren't great. This is it. It's just a nice IPA. It's a one hop IPA. I'm quite impressed with it, actually.
Because Stuart is my beer hero, my beero, if you will.
Which is a brand of flour. Yeah, correct.
I've picked up the Brewdog Punk IPA.
That is an absolute standard gateway beer.
It smells very fruity.
Yeah, they describe it as spiky and tropical. I think I like it. It's my fridge filler of choice.
I would say, for anybody at home keeping score, assuming this is going into the podcast, Quack was definitely better than Enquiries. I'm not a fan of the Enquiries, if I'm honest, but the Quack went down fairly nicely. So we're now on to the Brewdog Punk IPA.
Yeah, nice standard beer, and it's 5.4% Punk, is it?
Let's have a look. I think so. I think I saw something like that the other day when I was looking. Can't find it. So you guys talk amongst yourselves while 5.6.
5.6. Is it a bottle or can?
Bottle.
Right. Massively dependent on age, as with any hop-forward beer.
Yeah, it's got a funky taste to it. I mean, I can't say I've immediately warmed to it.
It's it's if you're not used to hop forward beers, it will be different. But it's compared to some of the beers that I like to drink, it's quite mild.
Yeah, I've got no idea. Go on.
Hops are a bit like chili.
Right.
You build up a tolerance, and then you start drinking things that other people think are appalling, but you think are delicious. So. Yeah,
I can see why people would like this. However, it's just not, being a non-beer drinker, it's just not quite, grabbing me just yet. But fuck it.
Yeah. Well, I'll drink it.
Or freeze it, suspend a carrot in it, and then fuck it.
Yeah.
Baby carrot in my case.
Back to Christmas. Brussels sprouts. Thoughts?
No.
What's that? Brussels sprouts?
Brussels sprouts?
Oh God, wouldn't have thought so. No, absolutely not.
No.
What, a mushy little bitter ball? No, you're right.
If it's good enough for Claire. Yeah, I don't. I'll eat them. I'll eat them if they're on my plate. I wouldn't. It's just this weird thing that us as a society, we've gone, oh, Brussels sprouts are bullshit. There's nobody like them. Yet we just fucking put them on our plates.
Let's ruin Christmas dinner with them. Nah, ridiculous.
It's really weird. I do like them. I do obviously prefer them if they've got some bacon in there or some roasted chestnuts or something like that. It does help it a little bit, but yeah, generally speaking, they're just bullshit, and they really don't really.
Yeah, Christmas is not a day to be compromising.
No,
but why? But we do.
No, we don't.
Sure.
No,
we do.
No.
We don't. You do.
Wow. Wow. Really? You don't have them at all?
No. I mean, we get some in because my parents are still their generation is the generation of compromise. I am the future. I mean, hopefully your daughter will follow in my footsteps rather than yours, and we'll see the light. Read Brussels sprouts, but nah, mate. Why ruin your Christmas dinner by eating something that you don't need to eat?
This is true, but I still will. Any other Christmas specific vegetables or accoutrements?
More time and effort into the things that we have. So parsnips, which I will have at other times of year, will have more in them. Same with carrots. At Christmas, it will be a chantenay carrot that's parboiled and then roasted with marmalade or something ridiculous.
Oh wow!
Has to be red cabbage. That is the winner. As I said before, my parents come to us for Christmas dinner. My wife and I, mainly my wife, make the Christmas dinner. My mum brings the red cabbage because my mum's red cabbage is the best thing. It is Christmas. But other than that,
pause it right there. Red cabbage is one of my favourite vegetables to chop. Second, probably only to celery. How do you? Because my sister's made red cabbage for. I'm going around Amazon on Saturday. She's made red cabbage. How do you make Christmas red cabbage? What is it? Apple juice?
Stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I think
cranberry.
Apples, sweetness.
I hope vinegar's not in it.
Essentially, probably a little bit, I imagine.
But they're not usually vinegar tasting.
No, they're sweet and delicious. It's sweet and delicious.
It's lovely. Red cabbage with a roast.
I'll try
Bit
it
of spice.
Never tried it.
Cloves, maybe a bit of star anise, cinnamon.
Yeah, sounds not. I can imagine mine would be incredible. having never made it, not knowing what ingredients go into it or the process of cooking, no, I'm sure mine will be incredible.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, lovely. MJ, any sort of Christmas specific roast extras that you'd have?
Yeah, it's the one roast of the year that just has everything, isn't it? It's almost like a greatest hits. You've got your Yorkshire, you've got your roast, you might bust out the mash. What I would do, we did actually buy a turkey crown to do our own little mini sort of Christmas aftershock, which we'll probably do in just over a week or so. Actually, hang on, it's Tuesday, isn't it? So a week today is Boxing Day, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll do it in probably just over a week. We'll have a little Christmas aftershock, and I'll do all the heavy hitters, roasts, turkey.
So where do you go on Christmas Day?
We're going around Claire's parents.
Claire's parents. Claire's parents. Yeah.
Something we didn't really discuss on the roast episode, but I'm going to bring it up here.
Correct.
What are your views on, like, how can I word this? Do your roasts come pre-dished, or do you have to deal with the whole buffet style where, you know, they give you essentially a bit of turkey on your plate and then you've got to sort of spoon your own potatoes and veg onto your plate? The buffet style.
We spoon.
You spoon.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we spoon.
Buffet style as well, yeah.
I'm just not a fan of that.
No.
I don't. It's not the process of having to pick my own food. It's the whole. I better not take too many potatoes because so and so might need. That's annoying. No, just You've cooked the dinner. Make sure there's enough food for each of us, and just simply give it to us.
There's a way of avoiding that, and the way of avoiding that is cook all the food, all the food, and then everyone's got more than enough. I mean, you might occasionally have a small altercation over a final pig in a blanket.
Yes,
but Christmas dinner at my house usually ends with, no, you eat the last roast potato. No, I will vomit. You eat the last roast potato. It's more because there's just so much. And,
there are enough.
In our house, there's me, 2 older people, a small child, and a vegetarian. So if you boil that down, what you've got is 1 human and 4 kind of additional creatures. So it's pretty straightforward.
Oh, fucking good. Oh, brilliant. Just marginalised old people, young people, and vegetarians. Brilliant.
Right. One of which is his wife.
Correct.
Yeah. I'm not saying which one.
Oh, that is very good. Yeah, I am slightly notorious for making colossal portions for Claire and I.
Good.
Claire actually has a surprisingly big appetite.
It's better to have too much than too little.
Yes, I agree.
Correct.
If only.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
I don't know where that was going.
Well,
okay,
who knows?
your mains are done. The
Correct.
plates have been cleared away. The dishwasher / the washing up person's out there. Dessert.
Trifle. See you tomorrow for breakfast.
Well,
The end.
first question.
Bye.
First question. Straight after, or do we have a little break?
Oh, break.
Break. What are we talking? An hour? Half an hour? More?
Hour.
And
Yeah,
Sit down.
Mine's probably going to be about around an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's you've had your break. Desserts are coming out. Stuart, trifle.
Yeah,
Now,
trifle.
Is this the one that you make with the amaretto?
Possibly. I haven't made a decision this year. It'll either be the one that I make or the one my mother makes. My mother and I have not yet had this discussion. She'll be listening. She will be listening to this though.
Does she?
Yeah, she bloody loves FRUK Unwrapped. Yeah. Oh, they
Fuck
do.
off.
No, she does. Oh, no, she won't like that, Nathan. Oh, it's funny. I do laugh, like, how are you, man? But the thing is, you're not too bad, I was Stuart, like. But the other two lads, oh, they can't swear a lot, like, how are you, man?
Oh God, this is my favourite thing I've ever experienced. Oh fuck, I'm crippled.
Hates you. She hates you, Michael Jameson.
Oh,
She
so
thinks
does
you're
everyone.
scum. She
Yeah.
thinks you're scum.
I am scum.
I don't, Stuart. I don't mind the Nathan Peterson one. He's all right. Sarah Milliken. My mother's Sarah Milliken, by the way.
Correct.
I like Nathan Peterson, but Michael Jameson, I cannot take to him like. Oh, he swears all. He seems like an appalling human being. I wish he was dead. There we go.
So many questions. So many questions. Okay, so your mother is from where? Newcastle? Sunderland?
She's from Durham.
Durham. Oh,
Yeah.
Lovely part of the world, Durham.
It's a
Oh,
beautiful
God.
part of the world. Yeah, I love it.
Right,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
so you say it's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Because I said to I recently said to Laura that Durham was beautiful. She went, "Oh no, I've heard it's a shithole." Now, bearing in mind, I've been there, and she's only heard it secondhand. Part of me was like, I haven't been there since I was a child, so part of me was wondering whether I just had an appalling memory. But yeah, I remember it being stunning. Like High Force and places like that are just stunning.
Yeah, it's great. Durham's great. What on earth is your wife talking about? No one has ever said Durham's a shithole. No one.
So your mother's from Durham.
Yeah. Hi, Mum.
Hi, Mrs. Bullock, presumably.
Yeah. Correct.
You're from Bradford,
Correct.
but live in Manchester.
Yeah. I'm the only Yorkshireman in my family.
I was going to say, you're doing the tour of the north.
My father is
Full
from.
north.
Yeah, my father is from a town called Colne, which is near Burnley, in Lancashire.
All right.
Yeah, and I am from Bradford. Yeah,
Jesus
Correct.
Christ. All over the place.
all over the place.
Phew, anyway,
Yeah.
before that, amazing distraction. I want more of your mother's voice on this podcast in 2018.
That needs to become a bi-weekly thing.
It
Well, we
does.
could just get my mother on as a guest.
It really does.
Yeah,
I
so we're doing
fear
that,
your
yeah.
impression of her
Yeah.
might be more interesting. More.
Yeah, she sounds nothing like that. She does sound nothing like that.
I don't care, like.
My eyes dead. So trifle. Do you offer other desserts? Is it purely everyone's just tucking into your trifle, or have you got to go through the?
There
whole
will be
Christmas-
things. There'll be things available. We'll sometimes get a kind of shop bought profiteroles in because father and son both enjoy a profiterole. We will always have a Christmas pudding if anyone was feeling a little bit mental. And I like a Yule log, so I will probably have one of those in the house. But I'd be very surprised if anyone were to want that.
Fair. MJ?
Mother-in-law / in-law family are particularly kind and probably overly kind, really. Certainly undeservedly. I am undeserving, rather, of the kindness that they lay upon me. And they sort of cater to my every need. So I'm a marginally fussy eater. I'm obviously nowhere near... Well, no need to. Nowhere near as bad as I used to be, but so one thing is usually everyone will have prawn cocktail for starter, but I'll just have smoked salmon and lemon. Boom, love it. So yeah, I probably will have smoked salmon twice that day.
Why don't carry on?
It's not a massive fan.
Prawn cocktails are dead thing, bro. Nah.
Yeah, they are a dead thing.
Come on. If you can eat smoked salmon, you can eat fucking prawn cocktail.
Nah.
Yeah, just
Sauce. It's just Mario sauce. Grow up.
yeah,
Dirt.
exactly childish.
Absolute dirt. Iceberg lettuce with some pink sauce on it. Ugh.
It sounds incredible.
Weird.
It's not a Big Mac.
I want to eat that now.
Similarly, they do treat me very well for pudding. I'll usually get something like a. So you know how supermarkets do these sort of look like Christmas puddings, but actually they're not Christmas puddings. Things like the salted caramel bombs are pretty widely available. I usually smash one of them. So that's good. And shit, I was going to say another key point then. Bollocks.
So are you not a fan of sort of your traditional Christmas desserts then? Your Christmas pudding, Christmas cake, mince pies?
I mentioned it at some point. So I'm not a fan of mince pies. I do like... I liked my mother's brandy butter, which I have made recently, which is incredible, but does pair particularly well with Christmas pudding, which I do like in a very marginal quantity, but it has to be a very marginal quantity and accompanied by aforementioned brandy butter. I'll tell you what, again, Stuart has been a beacon of inspiration for me this year because his talk and passion about trifles just making me want to. I've never really contributed to the Claire's family / my family Christmas Day thing that we do, so I sort of want to make a trifle and take it with us.
Trifles are good, man.
Yeah, sort of. I do like a trifle. I have them so rarely, but they are fucking good, aren't they?
They are.
Could you make it with pre-bought custard, or would that ruin it?
Don't put custard in it.
Oh, interesting.
Remind us what your trifle recipe is in, or what consists of?
Mine is I make a kind of custard, but I use mascarpone cheese.
That's it.
So I cook eggs out over a bain-marie with sugar, and then I fold that into mascarpone.
Oh yeah, that was it. It sounded fucking incredible. Yeah,
with vanilla and stuff like that.
So do you not have a cream layer as well then? Because that's very creamy in itself.
Perhaps. I mean, I can't write, so I don't write things down. But I think sometimes perhaps I do put a cream layer on.
Lightly
sometimes
whipped?
I don't. I mean, no, very whipped, like full on S&M, like
peak.
properly. Yeah.
Stiff.
Yeah.
And
Heavily whipped.
What jelly do you use for the base?
I don't.
What do you have the bomb then? Is it even a trifle?
Not really.
I don't have two of the three layers, and the other third one I sometimes put.
Amaretti biscuits and cherries and booze. Mainly booze.
But it doesn't sound like a trifle.
It's not really a trifle.
If you make it this year, can you send us a photo?
Yeah, it looks like a trifle.
Yeah, I want to see it because it sounds like, don't get me wrong, flavours wise and everything, it sounds incredible. But just obviously, I'm trying to wrap my head around what I have as the stereotypical view of a trifle, and it's obviously got quite a lot of different components. So it's
it. I've got to Google trifle now to remind me what a traditional one looks like. Yeah, they do look fucking great, don't they?
Yeah.
The majority I've seen, obviously, I've got jelly with either fruit or some sort of biscuity, whatever they're called. What are they called? Spongy things.
Lady fingers.
Yeah.
Then usually a custard layer, and then usually a cream layer. But obviously, from what Stuart's saying, he doesn't prescribe to the stereotypical trifle formula.
My mother's is more traditional. She tends to Swiss roll. How would she describe her trifle? Well, what I do here for Big Sunday, I get the Swiss roll up on. I soak the Swiss roll in some sherry. Then I do like mixed mixed fruits, like maybe forest fruits, and I put them in the jelly, and then the custard, and then I put the cream on the top, and then I'd grate, maybe crumble a flake, or grate some chocolate. Oh, it's delicious. Howie.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the booze, but it's amazing. It might be my favourite thing that's happened on this podcast.
Yeah, it's my favourite character.
Oh, fuck me.
Perfect. Spot on.
I don't even know where we are. Desserts. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of the Christmas cake pudding phenomenon.
Not a dessert. Christmas cake, not a dessert.
Well, some people rock it out for a dessert.
Yeah, wrong people.
Yeah. But I don't mind mince pies, but again, I wouldn't necessarily have them for a dessert unless there was just literally nothing else to have sweet. I tend to, very much like MJ, my mother-in-law has tended to be very generous for me and sort of ends up getting some sort of like sticky toffee pudding or something like that I can have, which obviously isn't particularly Christmassy, but yeah, I'm not really... Christmas pudding can just fucking just do one. I'm just not a fan of it.
It's so hard to get. So many Christmas puddings are not good.
I'm just not necessarily a fan of that sort of that. They're all called. They're not the same, but they're all similar. Sort of that sort of fruity, rich, wedding cakey Christmas cake. But they're all just very similar to me, and I just don't. It's not really something I particularly like.
It's got a fascinating texture.
Which is weird because obviously I like raisins and dried fruits and things like that. It's not necessarily. I couldn't tell you what it is I don't like about it. I just don't. I just don't like it, and so I have to have something that's not particularly Christmassy for Christmas, for pudding on Christmas Day.
I'm happy with you doing that, man. It's like the Brussels sprouts all over again. You eat what you want to eat. Christmas is all about doing what you want.
Yeah.
No compromise.
Yeah.
No retreat. No surrender. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Do it.
Trouble is, I want your trifle, and
well,
you can make it, Nate. It could be sort of your first foray into the kitchen.
Maybe. Yeah, why not? How hard is it, Stuart? Do you think somebody who can barely cook could make it?
I make it. Question answered.
Can you send me the recipe?
No, because there isn't a recipe.
Do you know what a bain marie is, Nate?
Can you give me an idea of? No, I don't really. I can Google it.
I have described my method for making the trifle on this podcast twice. Okay, surely that's easy enough to follow.
Fine, fuck you then.
Wow.
All right. I'll send it to you in a voice note. Calm down.
No,
it's Christmas.
Fine. I'll listen to this podcast. You've described it on here. Fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
This one and the Maverick Bacon one, both podcasts.
Okay, yeah. Fine. No, it's fine. I've asked you to do something nice to me. It's Christmas time, and you've rejected me. So, fuck all of you.
Welcome to the Tesco Trifle podcast.
Any other sort of Christmas meal, before I move on, any other Christmas meal traditions or foods or anything around the whole thing that you prescribe to?
Loads of cheese. Just loads of cheese. I've got some amazing cheese in my fridge at the moment. Waiting to be cracked open. Just loads. All of the cheese.
I don't know if this is something you guys do. One of my favourite things, it's not the meal itself, but sometimes it tends to be, excuse me, late in the Christmas evening and or Boxing Day. I do love then the cold meats. I don't know if that's something that you guys do. You'll have all the cold meats. You'll have like some salad. You'll have some pickle and some nibbly bits, and it just becomes like a little buffet of just random fucking party food. Is that something you guys have?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're talking about Boxing Day, sorry.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll have like leftovers on sometimes Christmas evening if we're still peckish. We'll have some of it, but generally Boxing Day is more probably.
Yeah. I like to make a lot of sandwiches in the Gooch week between Christmas and New Year's Eve. I like to make a lot of hot sandwiches with leftover meats and specially bought meats. Imagine, if you will, a part-baked baguette sliced in half, filled with leftover turkey, cranberry sauce, perhaps some delicious ham that's been bought specially, some cheese, perhaps some kind of chutney that's been bought.
Ooh.
All of that put into the oven and baked to make a hot, melted, freshly baguetted, delicious leftovers sandwich.
Tell you what, you need to get on Steve's Cooking on YouTube. He's such a lovely guy. He's a British guy. I think he's got a sort of a Brummie type accent, but living in America, and he just does this wonderful, wonderful food. And the reason I mention him is because he uploaded a video this week, which was basically he just put so much effort in even to what he calls his Steve's suppers. And this week it was like a baguette with pressure cooked turkey, cranberry and onion chutney, cheese, spinach. It was just sensational. Are you
saying my sandwich sounds shit, mate?
No, not at all. No, I'm saying that a proper chef, because he is a chef, in what you said inspired me or reminded me of an incredible chef. That's what I'm saying.
What you said reminded me of someone better.
I still haven't told you my anecdote from earlier, by the way.
Fuming. Yeah, we're glazing over that. Go on.
Shall I say it now?
Go on then, quickly.
So I was testing some headsets. Like I say, it's not related to food or anything. I was testing some headsets at work, and I called the person next to me to test headsets. But the person next to me has a very similar number to someone who just so happened to be leaving that day. So I rang it, and I was like, and the guy answered. He said hello, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh fuck, I've accidentally called Ian. So I was like, Ian, MJ here. Just wanted to wish you all the best for the future. Best of luck. Hope you have a great life and career and whatever you're doing next. Blah blah blah. Asked him what he was up to and whatnot. And he was like, oh, cheers, MJ, that's really nice of you. I was like, yeah, no worries at all, man. Yeah, cheers. Take it easy. Bye. Just absolute definition of styling it out.
Carry on. Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, good anecdote.
10 out of 10 anecdote.
I think MJ needs to be told what an anecdote is. I genuinely don't think he understands what it is.
No.
Outside of the meal, quickie while we round this section up.
Oh.
Are there any particular snacks, foods, anything that you'd like to see in your stocking come Christmas morning?
Interesting.
Chocolate orange never goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Toblerone never goes amiss.
Welcome to Toblerone Unwrapped.
Anything preceding by the word Reese's is always welcome. I like a date.
Oh, Jesus Christ. How old are you?
Yeah, 80 or something. That's fucking mental.
Fucking hell.
Fucking ancient.
Dates are delicious.
Yeah,
Grow
old.
up.
Yeah, correct, old. Dead ting. No, the only thing I'd really expect... When I was a kid, I used to get a mini can, one of those mini cans from Woolworths. That's not really a thing these days. I would expect to receive a bag of chocolate coins in my stocking, and if not, then there's serious questions that we asked. More important to me is actually one of my main presents I would expect to be either cashew nuts or pistachio nuts or both. I would expect them, and I would expect to get a big old bar of Galaxy.
Interesting that you mentioned the nuts, because it's not savoury snacks is not something we necessarily associate with Christmas. Obviously, we tend to think of chocolates and other sweet things, but
yeah, it's quite a weird present, isn't it?
Interesting nuts is something that it's not you don't often. I guess there's a few posh nuts out there that you might buy as like a little side gift for somebody, but
jumbo whole cashews, isn't it?
Fair play, you love your nuts.
Yeah.
There's one thing I know about MJ. He loves his nuts.
Well, I don't keep it a secret, do
I? No. Probably echo a lot of what Stuart said. I will throw in there Ferrero Rocher. Enjoy a nice
bit of
Rocher at
Raffaello,
Christmas.
maybe.
Not something necessarily get as a present, but sometimes we often try to buy for Christmas. Something we've referenced on a video recently, toffee. Don't know why. It's a big time Christmas thing for me, toffee. It's stemmed back to when I was a child.
I've not had a toffee for time, but love a toffee.
So much fun with Toffee. Can you do the so much fun with Toffee in your mum's voice?
So much fun with Toffee.
Perfect.
Howie.
Amazing. Yeah, Gossie hadn't even heard of Toffee when we mentioned it to him a few weeks ago.
Mental.
Which is fucking ridiculous. Fucking child. I think that's it, Toblerone. Just your random Cadbury selection box, obviously, is standard.
Selection box going to come out, isn't it?
I like to get a bag of chocolate coins, but then I start eating them and realise they're just cheap chocolate and I don't particularly enjoy them that much. But
yeah, it's more for the presence of the item rather than the actual product.
Tradition.
Yeah.
It's tradition.
Yeah.
Keeping up appearances. I think that's pretty much all I've got. All I've got on my list regarding Christmas food. Anything you guys want to raise outside of that?
I would like to honourable mention. This is not something that I'd want to be bought as a present, but this year Sainsbury's have got bacon and maple syrup pretzels.
Oh,
and they are incredible.
Are they?
I've got like 6 bags of them.
Who's this? Sainsbury's.
Yeah, Sainsbury's. They've got. Go on.
No, I was going to say because obviously, kettle chips have bacon and maple syrup, or maple bacon crisps.
Yeah.
So and they're incredible. So I'm hoping, and I like these small. So it's presumably when you say pretzels, it's the small crispy ones, is it?
Yeah. They've got on the Christmas aisle in Sainsbury's. They've got a salted pretzel stars. They've got salted caramel festive pretzels and the bacon maple bacon. The salted caramel ones are great, but the maple bacon ones are incredible.
I have to say, the flavoured pretzels that I've tried in my life have just simply never been strong enough. Unless they're coated in chocolate, which obviously is coated, I find it's just a dusty flavour powdering that is just not at all sufficient.
I don't think I've ever had flavoured pretzels, to be honest. They've just been salted or chocolate.
I mean, I've watched videos of you eating Snyder's, so...
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking of the smaller ones, mate.
Yeah. No, these are good. I mean, it is a coating, but they are coated.
Powerful enough, yeah. Love it.
There is a lot of coating. And what's even better, I like to pour a little portion of pretzels out into a bowl and then at the end, wet my finger and then mop up any excess residue.
Oh, yeah.
And then just have a fingerful of residue. There's nothing better in the world than a fingerful of residue.
There's not.
No.
You saucy bastard.
Yeah,
they sound incredible. I think next opportunity I get in the coming days, if I get the chance to go to Sainsbury's, I'm all on that shit. Yeah,
they're good. They're good, man. But I've stocked up because I'm gonna spend the first few months of 2018 eating them as well. I love a pretzel. A pretzel's my evening savoury snack of choice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you are listening at home, at work, on the train, wherever you may be, let us know what your Christmas traditions are, what you eat for your meal, what you have as snacks, breakfast, whatever it may be. Send us an email at frukgram or just hit us up on any of the various social medias that you can find us on.
Come now, wherever you shall be. I am the Lord of the dance, said he, and I need you now.
Need you are, wherever you may be. Not a Christmas song.
Is it not?
No.
Some sort of hymn or something, isn't it?
Interesting you two guys should sing, because why don't we have a special round of Christmas sound bites?
Nathan Peterson. Nathan Peterson. Sound bites.
Yeah, that's right. I've played around with the whole concept of Nate's sound bites a little bit. These two don't know this yet, but Big Natty P has decided, let's play an extra special round of sound bites. So what I've done, rather than asking you two to guess what food I'm eating, I've used a food product. I'll tell you what it is. It was celery. I've used celery, and I've recorded me chewing celery to the tune of popular Christmas songs.
Incredible.
I've never had celery raw, but I enjoy chopping it.
Doesn't really affect whether you'll be good at this game or not.
No.
To be honest.
Well,
it's
still a comment.
I'm not asking you to chew the celery, so it doesn't matter.
Well, it's still a comment. So.
I've sent you both 7 files, all named CSB 1 to 7.
Christmas soundbites.
Christmas
soundbites. Stuart's ahead of the game.
No, hang on. .m4a file format, which is media for audio.
Okay,
Right.
1 extra point
MP4.
for Stuart, 1 minus point for MJ for being a dick. So yeah, all I want you to do is play CSB 1, listen to it, tell me what song you think it is. For the listeners at home, this is the first track.
Fetching attachment. I'm gone.
Yeah, Little Drummer Boy.
Hang on.
So MJ.
Oh, hang on.
This is brilliant.
Shut up! Shut up, you penis!
That's the one I was just singing. It's the one I was
Shut up,
just
you
singing.
dick. Shut up, Michael.
This is good content.
Yeah, I mean, the faster you can do it, Stuart.
I can't hear it because you two keep talking about nonsense. I want to say... Oh, I mean, I think it is Little Drummer Boy because he said it before I'd heard it, so now all I can hear is Little Drummer Boy.
So are you going for Little Drummer Boy?
Go for Little Drummer Boy. No,
right. MJ,
no, I'm not. Sorry, I'm going for Band-Aid.
Yeah, I just wanted to say Little Drummer Boy because I love the fucking name of it.
Okay, so you sticking with Little Drummer Boy then, MJ?
Fuck yeah, I'll just say Little Drummer Boy for all of them, to be honest.
You were both wrong. It was White Christmas.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I can hear that now. Yeah.
Let us move on to CSB2.
Here we go.
Okay. Shut up, Michael.
Here we go.
Shut up.
This is brilliant.
Silent Night, mate. Silent Night. Done.
So Stuart's gone for Silent Night. MJ.
Stuart's right. Stuart's correct. So.
Yeah, Silent Night as well.
I don't know why you're saying that, Stuart, because then you give him confidence to pick Silent Night. It's not how the game should be played. So you're both going for Silent Night, correct?
Yeah.
You're both right, because Stuart's
gave it away,
too confident.
Correct.
Okay.
Stuart's
Song number 3.
Number
CSB 3.
CSB 3. Oh, fuck.
What?
Oh, fuck, that's so hard.
Oh.
To save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special. Maybe that one, I'm not sure. Last Christmas.
I'm gone.
MJ's gone for Last Christmas. Stuart.
I'm going to go for The Darkness. Don't Let the Bells End.
Okay, The Darkness. Don't lick the bell end. The answer is Wham with Last Christmas.
Oh, yes.
I knew it was, but I decided to make the game more interesting by getting it wrong.
Sort of what I did earlier.
Yeah.
If you hadn't guessed, it's song 4. CSB 4.
Do 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 do.
Shut up, Michael. Walking in a Winter Wonderland.
Okay, Windsland. MJ.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's a very good tune, but I have no idea.
It's a very good.
Just guess any Christmas song then.
Christmas Time by the Clues.
It's Do They Know It's Christmas Time by...
Fuck,
I mean, I literally couldn't hear it.
Yeah, fair.
Song number 5.
Number 5 now. It all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride
Jingle
on
bells.
one horse.
Jingle
What
bells.
to say?
Jingle
Oh,
bells.
jingle. Yeah, easiest one so far.
Well, is it?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
obviously.
It was... No, you're right. It was Jingle Bells.
Correct.
So going into the last couple of songs, it's currently 3-2 to Michael Jamieson.
Oh,
I
fucking hell,
can't.
that's
I
crazy.
can't. I cannot cope with this.
It's crazy. You're the head of music. I'm a drunken buffoon.
Oh.
Correct. Okay, number 6. This is a tough one. I'll let you listen to it a couple of times.
All right, then let me listen to it then.
Okay, I will do. Stuart, have you listened to it yet?
Oh, shut up, you pair of penises.
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
Bow Selector?
No, it's not proper Crimbo.
No.
No.
Yeah, I really have no idea. I'll have to abstain.
I'm going to go for Stop the Cavalry by Jonah Louis as an absolute stab in the dark. 'Cause
Yeah, okay, I'll go for, what's the one from The Office? Mary's Boy Child, Jesus Christ. I'll go for that one.
what's fictional?
So Mary Boy, what was it? Mary Boy Child.
Mary's Boy Child, Jesus Christ was born on Christmas Day.
It was Fairy Tale of New York.
Oh, fuck.
So last song 3-2. Stuart can only draw with this last one.
Right.
MJ can win by 1 or 2. So please, song number 7.
Oh, that's hard. That's very short. I really don't have a fucking clue. I'm trying to think of.
Is it the theme due to Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends?
Ding, 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 ding.
It's not, no. I assume you mean the Christmas special.
Were we close?
It was fairly close.
No, I just don't fucking know. I really, really don't know.
I'm going to guess. I'm just going to throw a guess at Merry Christmas Everybody by Slade. I mean, it sounds nothing like it, but that is the best Christmas song, and you haven't done that one yet, so...
I'm going to say Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree.
Oh!
Oh!
He's won, hasn't he?
He has won.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you this much. You're both wrong on that final question.
Good.
So the score is 3-2. Well done, Michael Jameson. Not only winning that round, but you won tonight's games overall 2-1.
Remarkable.
Now, I'll give you an extra second. That last song was a song that you did both reference with the other questions.
Oh, fuck.
You did mention it.
That's fascinating.
Was it proper Crimbo, Bob Selector?
It is proper Crimbo by Bo Selector.
Oh my god, that's mental.
Well, bonus points, or...
Yeah, you both get bonus points. MJ still wins.
Oh, wow, look at that. A Christmas miracle.
It is a Christmas. Yeah, so well done. 3-2. Well done, MJ.
Well done, Michael.
Sing with me, proper Crimbo. Oh, shit,
Selector.
yeah, exactly.
For a dream.
Now sing with me, proper Crimbo. Yeah, perfect.
Selector.
It's absolutely perfect. Ball Selector. Perfect. Well done, mate. Very, very good solicitry.
Great game, Matt. Great game.
Yeah, I thought the Nate Soundbites is a game I enjoy, but I thought actually this is something a bit more different. Probably a little easier and quicker to rattle through than you guys just randomly mentioning stupid questions until we get to the right answer or wrong answer.
You've managed to put a unique slant on it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all we've got for the show, I think. Thank you very much for joining me, young gentleman.
It's a pleasure to be here. It was a wonderful show, and it's got me even more excited for Christmas, if that was possible.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's like we said, started the show. It's less than a week away. This time next time next week, we'll all, just be chilling out, innit?
Correct.
Probably returning what shitty presents we've been bought by people that don't really love us. Yeah. Well, I was not naming names. Gossip.
David Goss.
Excellent.
No, tremendous show. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. It's been very fun. I've drunk 3 lagers, or 3 beers, I should say, which is probably more than I've drunk all year.
Well done. Michael, did you get onto your backup cider?
I didn't. I've nearly finished my 4 Loco. It's almost at the very end. I've promised my friends I'm gonna play a bit of Destiny now. Bit of drunken Destiny.
Well done.
That'll be a treat for them.
Thank you all to the listeners as well. Thank you for joining us. We at FRUK, Food Review UK, we hope that you have a tremendous Christmas. If you're in the spirit of giving, why not use any extra cash you've got laying around to donate to Patreon and help us out? We don't need it, but we just basically want it. So, help us out. Please also review us on iTunes. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And, we just hope you have a really, really merry fucking Christmas.
Yes.
Wish
you a Merry Christmas. Did you watch the Ting review?
Ting?
Yeah.
Has it been posted?
No, well, the thing is, because Stuart's got access to FRUK, I see a number of videos now with like 1 or 2 views.
No, I haven't watched the Ting review.
Oh, fascinating. Interesting. Because it is hilarious.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Correct.
I had a small bit of Ting-based news, but I didn't use it.
Do it now.
So,
yeah, go on.
There's been a furore this week where a craft brewer from Wales called Tiny Rebel has been forced to change their can design because one person complained that it looked like a kind of sun-kissed, and it's cost them £30,000. And then this week in craft beer news, someone found Ting in the craft beer aisle in a supermarket, thus completing the circle of craft beer equals pop. There we go.
That is very funny and hilarious.
Yeah.
So Ting has been in the news, which is, I assume, the first time it's ever been in the news in the same week.
Not in the news, on a Facebook page that I am a member of.
Okay.
Oh,
sort of still counts. On the same week that we upload a review of it. That's fascinating.
Correct, yeah.
Trendsetters, not followers.
Going up on Saturday for anyone listening. Saturday, Ting review, one of the funniest videos we've ever done.
Really?
We
wish you a Merry Christmas. We
wish you a Merry FRUKmas. We wish
you a Merry FRUKmas.
Just
and
a happy new
beer.
Beer. Yeah.
I mean, we didn't plan that at all. I don't know.
Christmas beer.
Proper Crimbo.
Come now, sing, we drink.
For Loco.
Boys, this is the longest podcast we've ever reviewed.
Yeah,
we've reviewed it 10 out of 10. Fucking no,
recorded, Nathan.
It's a hard 3 from me.
Oh, cute.
I'm tapping out.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Goodbye.
Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed us.
Have a nice Christmas.
I hope you've enjoyed us. Oh, I can't do the
I
voice.
did it all like.
Merry Christmas. Oh, Mrs. Bullock, please, it's all MJ's fault. Blame him. Love you. Love you all.
Love you too.
Bye.
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 Bye.